Hi, Nick Collier here, and this is my shop. Come join me. We'll have some fun. Good morning, Nick Collier here. Today we're going to work on something that's just a bit odd, and certainly the approach is incredibly renegade, but we're going to give it a try and see if it's going to work, because nothing else is going to work. Now I'll bring you in a little bit closer and tell you the story. Well, I don't know, about 3 or 4 months ago, this guy gives me a call and he says, you rebuild engines? And I said, not really. I work on my own cars and that's it. But he had seen me on, I can't remember, on a Craigslist or something like that. And he says, I got this old Chevy engine, 6-cylinder. And I just need to put it back together. It's all rebuilt. I just need to reassemble it. And I went, oh, well, I cut my eye teeth on these old Chevy engines. So, and I've taken them apart hundreds of times and put them back together. So I kind of knew it by like the back of my hand. And I said, well, I charge by the hour, and I can't promise that I'm going to get it anywhere before Christmas. Well, here we are, almost Thanksgiving, and we've been working on it. And of course, when you take something apart and you leave it apart for a period of time, and I think he's left this apart for a couple of years sitting in his garage, there's a bunch of parts that are missing. Of course, I don't know what, the rats carried it off or something, but there are a bunch of parts missing. So I put it together to a certain point, and then we go, oh, well, we're missing such and such, and he'd have to order a new one or go try to find it. And so there's been this slow process of over the last couple months rebuilding this engine. Now he sent it down to Sacramento and had all of the work done to it. So when I put the head on, I cranked the head down and I got it tightened up and everything, and I started putting the rocker assembly on, and I realized that there's 3 or 4 rocker bolts here that somebody had just beat the shit out of with a hammer. And I was like, what? They just mushroomed the top, and I'm going to bring you in close and show you a couple pictures of that. Okay, and I tried several approaches to get this thing cleaned up and get it back to where I could actually put a nut on it, one of these nuts here, and I couldn't get it. I took a file, a thread file, it wouldn't work. I put a die on there and tried to carefully get the die to go down right, and it wouldn't work. It kept cross-threading, and I thought, well, okay, what are we gonna do here? So here's what I want to do. I'm going to take a thread die, and I'm going to go in with my metal chop saw, and I'm going to cut it in half. And then take the 2 halves, put it on the bolt down below. Put and these are Craftsman style dies, and then put my head back on it, which is going to kind of hold it in place and hold it in a way that it's not going to expand too much. And then the adjusting bolt here will kind of crimp down on it a little bit. Put the 2 together, put this on there, and then back it back up and off of the bolt. So let's see how that's going to work. Okay, the best way I see it is to grab it right here and then just split that one little area right in there, and then flip it over and split the other area. So we're going to give that a try. Okay, we got our 2 halves. We're going to set it up so that it comes from the right direction, and then we get it so that it isn't cross-threaded, of course. That's almost right. There it is. Okay, and then just hold it even. And drop our head down on top of it. And once the tool goes on, then we can rotate around. And notice how I'm hitting. So I'm going to have to take the arms off. But that's not too bad. I mean, because the threads are already there. They just have to be kind of cleaned up. So we're going to rotate that around and get it nice and snug, and just keep rotating. Whoa, tight. Okay, we'll put the arm back in, put a arm back in, and rotate this thing all the way as far as we can. Take the arm out. Rotate that as far as we can. Take the arm out. And I don't know, it's looking to me like this thing's working. Can we do it by hand? Yes, we can. Okay. Grunting helps. All right. I think it broke through. Yeah. Look at that. All right, let's take it off and see if we got ourselves a... Thread looks pretty good. Let's put a nut on it. Oh man, look at that. That's going to work just fine. Yeah, it's perfect. All right. Well, so the little backstory around this is my customer called the guy who did the head 2 years ago and said, well, you know, it's messed up. And the guy, of course, said, well, yeah, you know, it's 2 years later. What are you talking about? And so we took the head off and we took it down to the local auto parts store. And the auto parts store, you know, with a machine shop, and the machine shop guy said, well, yeah, maybe we can put new ones in. He says, but whoever pressed these in, they pressed them in so tight, they might not be able to come back out. He says, and if we can get them back out, then the hole is going to be so messed up that we might not be able to get new ones back in. He says, we can do it, but we'll have to thread each one of them, and we're going to charge you $250 to do that. And I'm like, wait a second, $250 just because we got a couple, 3 or 4 boogered up threads. Well, we just got through fixing one of the threads for what, 5 minutes, 15 minutes work, and the other 2 or 3 are going to be 5 minutes work. So hey, I learned something today, and it's been a good day, at least a good beginning of the day. This is like just the start. Maybe this is going to be one of those really great days. Anyhow, hey, subscribe, tell your friends about me. We have fun here. We do odd, weird little stuff. And this is Nick Collier, checking out.